Hey NFL fans, before we dive into today's hottest stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update from NFL News Now. It's finally over. After what felt like an eternity for both the Kansas City Chiefs and their fan base, wide receiver Rashee Rice has officially served his 6-game suspension and is cleared to return to action. The long wait, filled with uncertainty, frustration, and questions about whether he'd even come back the same player, is finally giving way to anticipation and excitement. Following Kansas City's 30-17 win over the Detroit Lions on Sunday night, the news dropped that Rice's punishment had run its course. And now, the Chiefs' offense, which has been hot and cold through the early part of the season, is about to get a jolt of much-needed electricity. Rice is eligible to return to practice this week, and if all goes according to plan, we could see him back on the field this Sunday when the Chiefs, sitting at an even 3-3, host their division rivals, the Las Vegas Raiders, who are struggling at 2-4. To really understand the weight of this moment, you've got to rewind the clock a bit. Rashee Rice's second year in the league was supposed to be the breakout campaign. Drafted in the second round back in 2023, the young wideout quickly made a name for himself as a reliable weapon for Patrick Mahomes. His rookie year was impressive by any standard: 79 catches, 938 yards, and 7 touchdowns. He wasn't just a complimentary piece. He was the guy who looked poised to inherit the mantle as Kansas City's next true WR1, something the team desperately needed after Tyreek Hill's departure. Going into the 2024 season, he was the undisputed top option in the Chiefs' receiving corps. And through the first few weeks, he played like it. 24 receptions, solid production, great chemistry with Mahomes. Everything was trending up. And then it all came crashing down. Week 4 against the Jets. A freak play. Rice planted his foot awkwardly on the turf and immediately went down clutching his knee. The silence inside the stadium said it all. When the test confirmed he had torn his right ACL, it was devastating. The Chiefs' offense lost one of its most dynamic young weapons, and Rice's promising season was over before it really began. But as if that weren't enough, more trouble followed. Off the field, Rice's name was already in headlines for all the wrong reasons. Back in the offseason, he'd been involved in a high-speed multi-car crash in Dallas that left several people injured. It was a chaotic situation: luxury cars, reckless driving, a pileup that could have ended even worse than it did. Rice eventually took responsibility, pleading guilty to 2 third-degree felony charges. He received deferred adjudication on a 30-day jail sentence, meaning the case will be dismissed if he fulfills his probation conditions. But the league wasn't going to overlook it. In August, just weeks before the new season kicked off, the NFL handed down a 6-game suspension for violating the personal conduct policy. Rice didn't appeal. He didn't fight it. He accepted it. And honestly, that decision might have been the first step toward redemption. It was a moment that showed some accountability, a sign that maybe the young receiver was starting to understand what it means to be a professional at this level. The Chiefs organization stood by him, albeit quietly. They knew the player he could be, but they also knew he had to earn back trust from teammates, coaches, fans, and the league. While Rice was sidelined, Kansas City's offense went through its ups and downs. Hollywood Brown, the veteran pickup meant to complement Rice, stepped up as best he could, leading the team with 30 catches, 302 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Tyquan Thornton, a speedster who's been trying to prove himself after an uneven start to his career, also added 3 touchdown receptions. And of course, there's the constant, Travis Kelce. Even at 35, he remains Mahomes' go-to guy, leading the team with 321 receiving yards on 28 catches. But anyone watching the Chiefs this season can tell something's been missing. The passing game, while functional, hasn't been explosive. There's been a lack of that it factor, the playmaker who can turn a short route into a 40-yard gain, who forces defenses to adjust their entire scheme. That's the role Rashee Rice was born to fill. Now, the million-dollar question: what kind of shape is he in? Coming off an ACL tear is never easy. It's one of those injuries that not only tests your body, but also your mind. The confidence to cut, to plant, to go full speed. It doesn't just come back overnight. But reports from the Chiefs camp suggest Rice's rehab went about as well as anyone could hope. He's been working quietly behind the scenes, focusing on strength and explosiveness, and the word is he's looked good in controlled drills. The real test, though, will come when he's out there in full pads, going up against live defenders. The timing of his return couldn't be better. The Chiefs, sitting at 3-3, are still right in the thick of things in the AFC, but they've yet to look like the dominant team fans have grown accustomed to. Patrick Mahomes has been doing what he can, but even he can't perform miracles without consistent help on the outside. Bringing Rice back into the fold could open up the entire offense. Defenses will have to respect his route running and his ability to make contested catches, which, in turn, should make life easier for Kelsey and the rest of the receiving corps. And for head coach Andy Reid, it's like getting a mid-season trade acquisition without having to give up a single asset. But make no mistake, this isn't just about football. This is about redemption, maturity, and growth. Rashee Rice's story over the past year has been a roller coaster of highs and lows, success and regret. He's gone from being one of the NFL's most promising young receivers to a cautionary tale about what happens when off-field decisions overshadow on-field talent. And now he's at a crossroads. How he handles this next chapter will define not just his career, but his legacy. The spotlight will be intense. Every catch, every mistake, every sideline interaction will be analyzed. That's the price of fame in today's NFL, especially when you've already been through controversy. But if Rice can keep his head down, focus on football, and let his play do the talking, there's no reason he can't reclaim his place as one of the rising stars in the league. The Chiefs are giving him that chance. Mahomes has always been known for supporting his teammates, and insiders say the quarterback has kept in touch with Rice throughout his rehab and suspension, encouraging him to stay ready. That chemistry they built last year doesn't just vanish. It's still there, waiting to be reignited. Of course, the return won't be without challenges. The Raiders will likely test him early, pressing him at the line, forcing him to prove that he can handle contact. The coaching staff will probably limit his snaps at first, easing him back into game speed. But if he can make a few early plays, maybe even haul in a key third down catch or a red zone target, it'll go a long way toward boosting his confidence and reminding everyone just how good he can be. The Chiefs fan base, too, is split. Some fans have been eagerly awaiting his return, counting down the weeks until number 4 could take the field again. Others still have reservations, struggling to separate the player from the headlines. That's understandable. But sports have a way of offering second chances, if the athlete earns them. And for Rice, this is that opportunity. Not just to help his team, but to rebuild his image, to prove he's learned from his mistakes and is ready to grow beyond them. It's a strange balance, isn't it? In the NFL, talent often buys forgiveness, but only if it's matched with humility and accountability. Rice has the first part in spades. His rookie tape alone proves that. Now he has to show he's developed the second. And if he does, the Chiefs might just find themselves with the spark they've been missing. So here we are. Rashee Rice's suspension is officially over. His knee is, hopefully, ready. His team needs him. The stage is set for a comeback story that could be one of the biggest of the season. Whether it ends in triumph or disappointment will depend entirely on what he does next. But one thing's for sure, when he steps back onto that field in Arrowhead, all eyes will be on him. And for the first time in a long time, the conversation won't be about what went wrong. It'll be about what might finally go right. Keep watching as we analyze more details about some rumors. Bombshell in the NFL world today as the unthinkable has reportedly happened. The league has officially annulled the game that took place between the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs, sending shockwaves through fans, analysts, and players alike. According to sources close to league operations, the decision stems from a significant irregularity that allegedly occurred during the game, the nature of which has yet to be fully disclosed, but is causing enormous controversy across every corner of the football community. Social media has erupted with speculation, memes, and furious debates as fans try to make sense of what this means for the teams involved, the league standings, and the integrity of the NFL itself. This isn't just your average post-game drama. This is an event that could ripple throughout the entire season, potentially rewriting narratives and playoff projections in ways no one saw coming. Reports suggest that the irregularity may involve either officiating errors of unprecedented scale or a procedural mishap that fundamentally compromised the fairness of the game. Some insiders are hinting at technical violations, perhaps an issue with game clocks, replay systems, or even roster management rules, but nothing has been confirmed. What is clear, however, is that the league did not make this decision lightly. Annulments of games in professional sports are almost unheard of, and the NFL's move signals that whatever happened on that field was serious enough to override months of preparation, strategies, and the physical toll on the players. Fans of both teams are understandably in disbelief. Lions supporters are frustrated because their team had displayed a strong performance throughout the game, and Chiefs fans are equally perplexed because the contest had initially appeared to be a decisive victory for Kansas City. Now, all of that effort might as well be erased from the record books. The timing of this announcement couldn't have been more dramatic. The league chose to make it public on a day when multiple other marquee matchups are drawing attention, ensuring that this news dominates every discussion thread, sports channel, and highlight reel. Analysts on television and podcasts have been scrambling to contextualize the implications, and the rumor mill is running at full speed. One theory gaining traction is that this could be the beginning of a new, more aggressive phase of NFL regulation enforcement, where even minor procedural oversights are treated with zero tolerance. Another line of speculation focuses on potential player or staff misconduct, ranging from unauthorized communications to sideline infractions, though these claims remain unverified. It's a situation so unusual that it has left former players and commentators scrambling to compare it to historical precedents. And in truth, there are almost none. Adding fuel to the fire, the league's statement was cryptic, emphasizing only that the integrity of competition must be maintained above all else. No specific penalty has been announced for either team, and there is no official word on whether the game will be replayed or if it will simply be expunged from the season's records. This ambiguity has created a vacuum of uncertainty that fans are desperate to fill with theories, rumors, and heated arguments. Social media platforms are flooded with speculation. Some fans are calling for a rematch in Kansas City. Others are demanding an entirely neutral venue. And a growing number are questioning whether the NFL's current rules are sufficient to prevent such chaos in the future. Meanwhile, players themselves are reportedly shocked and confused, with some voicing frustration that all their hard work could effectively vanish due to circumstances beyond their control. The implications extend far beyond just the teams directly involved. With playoff races increasingly tight, the nullification of this game could shift the balance of power across the league. Teams that were previously projected to make the postseason may now find themselves teetering on the edge, while others who had been considered long shots could suddenly see new opportunities emerge. Fantasy football players, already dealing with the unpredictable nature of the sport, are facing new headaches as points from this game are now under question. Analysts are debating scenarios where a replayed game could completely alter divisional rankings, seeding, and ultimately who gets a coveted spot in the playoffs. The ripple effects of this one annulment could carry far into the postseason, making what seemed like a mid-season story into a defining moment for the entire NFL year. Fans have also begun speculating about internal league politics, wondering whether this decision might reflect larger dynamics behind the scenes. Some suggest that the NFL might be sending a message about accountability, showing that even high-profile teams like the Chiefs and Lions are not above scrutiny. Others worry that such a high-profile annulment could invite criticism from sponsors, broadcasters, and international audiences who expect the league to run smoothly. The media frenzy surrounding this development is only intensifying as commentators dissect every angle, from potential rulebook loopholes to the psychological impact on players who now must contend with having a phantom game erased from their careers. The very fabric of what counts as a legitimate victory is suddenly in question, sparking a broader debate about fairness, transparency, and the human elements that make sports compelling yet unpredictable. Inside sources suggest that league executives are holding emergency meetings to determine the next steps. Options reportedly include scheduling a replay at a neutral location, issuing fines or penalties if any misconduct is confirmed, or even instituting league-wide policy changes to prevent a similar scenario in the future. The NFLPA has reportedly been briefed, and union representatives are expected to weigh in regarding player rights and compensation for a game that no longer officially exists. Coaches from both teams are said to be meeting privately with players to discuss strategies moving forward, knowing that the mental and emotional toll of having a game nullified could be significant. Meanwhile, fan forums, social media comment sections, and sports. Podcasts are ablaze with every possible speculation imaginable, from shadowy conspiracy theories to meticulous rulebook analyses, because no one can seem to agree on exactly what happened or what should happen next. As the hours pass, the story only grows more sensational. Betting markets are reportedly recalibrating, with sportsbooks adjusting odds and payouts based on the sudden uncertainty. Merchandising, media deals, and even local economies in Detroit and Kansas City could feel a minor shockwave from the annulment if the game is replayed or if fan sentiment turns negative. The spectacle of professional football is intertwined with cultural rituals and communal identity, and when a game simply ceases to exist in the record books, it's more than a sports story. It's a cultural event, a shock to the collective understanding of fairness, effort, and competition. Rumors continue to swirl about the potential personal stakes for coaches, referees, and league officials, with speculation that some high-level executives could face scrutiny or even forced resignations if the irregularity is traced back to administrative oversight rather than purely technical faults. In short, the Lions-Chiefs annulment is shaping up to be one of the most talked about, bizarre, and controversial moments in NFL history. Fans, analysts, and insiders alike are still piecing together what happened, why it happened, and what the consequences will be. The drama isn't just confined to one team, one game, or one season. It has the potential to redefine how professional football handles irregularities, fairness, and accountability moving forward. The league's next moves will be scrutinized relentlessly, and the world will be watching closely to see if the NFL can navigate this storm without further scandal. For now, the takeaway is simple. A game has disappeared from the record books, chaos reigns in the rumor mill, and the entire football universe is left asking the same question. What just happened, and what will happen next? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow NFL fans. Stay tuned for more updates, only here on NFL News Now.